Time with Cait.
Hi boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with Cait. That's me! Today I'll be reading The Last Surviving Dinosaur, the TyrantoCrankaTsuris. Today I'll be reading The Last Surviving Dinosaur, the TyrantoCrankaTsuris. If you want to pick up your very own copy of The Last Surviving Dinosaur, all you have to do is go to Amazon.com or MascotBooks.com. You can also, got a little card here, check out www.thelastsurvivingdinosaur.com for all kinds of cool articles on Crankosaurus. Only with your parents' permission, kids. And now, let's get to reading. Taurus is the Yiddish word for problems. Now, when I say problems, I'm not talking about minor daily inconveniences. I'm talking about major life-changing traumatic events that have brought on such suffering that has never been experienced by anyone since the beginning of time, and something you would never wish on your worst enemy. Still kind of seeing spots here. Consider the differences in these two statements. I have this problem. Or, oi, I have such Taurus, oi! I grew up in a home in the Bronx, and like many other homes in my neighborhood, all my relatives loved to get together and start talking about their Taurus. You think you have Taurus? If I had your Taurus, I'd be doing cartwheels. Nobody can outdo my Taurus. We all kvetched, which means complaining about your Taurus, with a huge sense of pride. For us, it was as if we were training for the Taurus Olympics. Only one of us could get the gold. I've got a headache. I've broken my foot. My oven is blown up. My fridge is leaking. My dog has eaten my homework. How are you doing, Aunt Zadie? I'm okay, but after the doctors got my warts off my feet, the nails came off with them. My second cousin Dottie would chime in. I'd be happy with no nails. I got my warts removed, but they were replaced by green fungus between my toes. I'm talking about a forest growing on my feet. Aunt Ruthie leaned in and exclaimed, Oi! But you both did not go through what I went through. I was in Florida and got bit by an alligator, and this is what I got. I'm turning into a reptile. On the other side of the room, the men would talk. How are you doing, Uncle Monty? I could be better. For years, I thought I had this terrible dandruff problem, but nothing helped. Well, turns out it was lice. I'm a walking plague. My cousin Whiny would interrupt. Don't talk to me about lice. I got ticks, deer ticks. Only I can get deer ticks in Brooklyn. Uncle Schmucky, with his booming voice, always grabbed the gold. I'd take lice and ticks in a heartbeat. I just got back from the doctor, and I have an inoperable brain tumor. The doctor says it's not life-threatening, but they had to put a metal plate around it to keep it from growing. Now I can't fly on airplanes. They think I'm carrying a bomb inside my head. All this Taurus training prepared me very well for when I became a father. The first time my daughter had a temper tantrum, I put her in timeout and told her that when she was done, I would tell her the real story about how all the dinosaurs but one went extinct. When her timeout was over, she said, I'm ready for the story, Daddy. But you said that not all dinosaurs are extinct. That's not what I learned in school. It's true, one little dinosaur survived. And even though she was the smallest dinosaur, she was the most dangerous of all. Believe it or not, we humans are all descendants from this one tiny dinosaur. She was called the TyrantoCrankaTsuris. The TyrantoCrankaTsuris was the smallest dinosaur on the planet, and all the other dinosaurs made fun of her because of her size. All the other dinosaurs liked to brag about how tough they were. "I can eat an entire forest with one bite," one said. "My teeth are so big, they're the size of an entire forest," a second exclaimed. "I floss my teeth with an entire forest," boasted a third. And they laughed and laughed at the little TyrantoCrankaTsuris until one day the little TyrantoCrankaTsuris got really, really mad and let out the biggest and loudest Crankosaurus. "I had bad warts on my toes, but then they came off and my toenails came off with them, and then the fungus on my feet grew into the size of an entire forest, so I went to Florida to soak my feet in the ocean, and an alligator bit off the feet forest, but it bit my feet too, and it hurt so much." And with that Crankosaurus, the whole planet shook and went dark. But the TyrantoCrankaTsuris would not stop, and I thought I had bad dandruff, but it was really lice, and then I found out that I had deer ticks, even though deer don't even exist yet, and I can't get the deer ticks removed because I have a brain tumor, and if they tried to remove the deer ticks, my brains would splatter all over, and my head would hurt even worse. She went on and on and on, cranking out the saurus until all the bigger, badder dinosaurs had vanished. Oh, there was one dinosaur that was immune to the Crankosaurus. It was another tiny dinosaur, the TyrantoCrankaTsuris. And when the TyrantoCrankaTsuris arrived from Florida with the alligator, they fell in love and lived crankily and kvetchily ever after. Millions of years later, these last two dinosaurs evolved into humans. Before, you were getting a bit cranky and kvetchy. That's the part of us that we inherited from the TyrantoCrankaTsuris and the TyrantoCrankaTsuris. Even mommy and daddy can be a Crankosaurus and a Kvetchosaurus sometimes. "You need to be careful with this power," I told my daughter. "Remember, all the other dinosaurs went extinct because the TyrantoCrankaTsuris just wouldn't stop. So we learned to be careful not to express our inner TyrantoCrankaTsuris or TyrantoCrankaTsuris too often. Just the right amount to keep the planet happy and not too cranky." The end. Thanks so much to KidsCon Online for letting us be part of this special event. I want to thank all you kids for a very special Season 3. I'll be back for Season 4 mid to late summer 2020. And I also want to make sure that you all like and subscribe so that you can be entered for a chance to win each of the 10 books I read this season. You have until May 1st. That's when I'm going to be selecting the winners. Thanks so much for watching the Season 3 finale of Storytime with Cait. That's me!